Aloha.
Hi.
Hi there. Hi there, you guys.
What goes on, Charles? Oh
Nothing,
boy.
nothing much, my brother. Trying to recover from last night, as you can tell. It
Um,
was
I
one of those crazy moments, my brother. One of those crazy moments.
tell you, man, it was.
Nothing much, my brother. Trying to recover from last
I'm
night.
actually, I'm actually still laughing. Still laughing. Oh, okay. All right. Now we're on. Now we're on.
Yes,
Yeah, it
sir.
was. It was something last night. It was.
Yeah.
Oh man, welcome and thank you for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday night. What is today? The 29th? Man, it's
Yeah.
almost May. Almost May. May 1. Remember when May 1st was May Day? Remember when across the state May Day was always the first day in May. Remember going to school, elementary school, having all the lay. It was always on May 1st. And now all the schools, all different dates, no longer is look, they're already posting doodle boy, doodle boy. We gotta get serious. We gotta I don't know how many orders I had today. And if
I
you
was.
weren't on last night, you're not gonna understand what the heck we're talking about. But if you were, you know what we're talking about. But I had a bunch of orders today for the Doodle Boy T-shirt, and we don't have a Doodle Boy T-shirt, not yet, but we will.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know how we're gonna do this tonight, Charlie.
Well, we just
I'm gonna.
we gotta keep a straight face now, okay? We gotta keep a straight face and and try our best. We gotta, we gotta try our
I
best.
have the I have, I have the ability to change the cameras, so don't expect to see me too much tonight. Charlie, if I see you, Charlie, making funny faces, I'm gonna shut off your camera. Oh my God! See, they're posting that Uncle Kirk is designing the shirt right now. I mean, so spontaneous, so unplanned and unscheduled. It was,
Yeah.
whew, oh my God. I gotta say, man, that was one hell of a way to end the show last night. It was awesome. It just so, so
It was
many.
natural, and it was the real deal. And
Ah,
I love our mail for it. What happened? I mean, it was so natural. I mean, when you were smoking time, you get caught with your hand in a cookie jar, get that look like, uh oh.
laugh
It was
is medicinal.
moment.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Laugh is medicinal, and I had an overdose of laughter last night. It was just funny. It was funny, but it was right. Anyway, let's
Yeah.
get to the business at hand tonight. Again, don't forget, hit the share button. Tonight we have Senator Kalani English and Representative Lynne Decoite. They represent Maui, and they're going to be on to talk about a bunch of. Is it? Oh, you know what? Wednesdays we usually have a comedy night. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. That's right. Everybody coming on because they thought we usually do the Hump Day humor, but Senator English has huh? Yeah, last night was the humor night. No, but Senator Kalani English, unfortunately, he could only make it tonight, so we had to, and he's actually knocking on our door already. So, anyway, we're gonna get started, but hit the share button, start a watch party, get this thing viral. I think tonight, knowing what we know about what's going on in Maui, these are the two, the senator and the representative, that's gonna break it down for us and explain to us really what's happening in Maui. And of course, the shirts. I gotta promo the shirts. Um, $10. Charlie has a towel. All proceeds, Kirk Correa, as you know, Kirk Correa has donated these shirts. He donated his time, the shirts and the printing, all of that stuff, for us to sell these shirts for $10. Thank you so much. I haven't added in. I think we had about 15 or 18 shirts ordered last night. So we got to be past $1,000 mark now. So thank you guys. Appreciate all you guys. Shirts are still available. Just message me with your shirt sizes and how many, and I will get the link for payment. It's $10, no tax, and you can pay via PayPal or Venmo. So with that, Charlie, any see they're asking for the Doodle Boy shirts. I get, you know, I'm not gonna look at the comments. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
look at the comments because I just simply cannot handle.
Yeah, you know, we need to tell Kalani that if we start to, Senator English, if we start to laugh, we're not laughing at him.
Well,
We're laughing with him.
he's coming on right now, so we're gonna have to explain to him what the heck is going on because oh man, look at him.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, look
Let
at
me
that
get out.
back.
Let me get out of Tahiti.
I was just gonna say, Senator, you know that you cannot be sitting, sitting down and on a beach. You gotta be moving.
Well, that's Tahiti. So good to see you guys.
Hey,
Same
thank
here.
you so much, Senator. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're waiting for Lynn to come on. We just this is Senator Kalani English. He's the Senate Majority Leader, District 7 out of Maui, and Representative Decoite will be on shortly. Just gonna talk story tonight. I appreciate you sharing your time with us. I know you guys are super busy right now, a lot of stuff going on, and just appreciate you coming on. We do this every night. We've been focusing on trying to get people to follow the rules, you know, and yeah, you know, for Kauai especially, things are looking really good. But what we wanted to ask you if you could, and we'll turn it over to you right now. When Lynn comes on, she comes on, but I you know, respect your time as well. You can start off with giving us an overview of Maui and what's been going on.
So let me just say that the 7th senatorial district is the largest district in all of Hawaii. I have the islands of Molokai, Lanai, and Kaho'olawe, and then everything on East Maui. So from the airport and Kahului, if you look towards Haleakala, everything that side is all in my district. So I have, you know, Pukalani, Kula, Kaupo, Paia, and all the way around Hana. Oh, Lynn, you're in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, we cruising San Francisco right now, doing a virtual reality.
Anyway, you know, so the district is really, really huge. Lynn represents half of that district, you know, the Molokai, Lanai, Kaho'olawe, East Maui, and then Kyle, Representative Yamashita represents the upcountry Kula area of my district. So, you know, I cannot tell you how good it is to have really good partners that we work together. You know, me and Lynn and Kyle, we work well together, and we've really got a lot done because we work together. You know, so Lynn is over there. Okay, now she's at back of Molokai from San Francisco.
Had to change that deer right across the backyard over there. It was looking really good.
Mel, you get your mic off, Mel. You gotta take off your mic.
Sorry. Yeah, but you know, last night we had the mayor Kawakami on, and it ended up with quite a bit of laughter. So we're reminiscing. So if you see the cameras change, Charlie and I dispersed because we just remembering what happened last night. It was funny. It was super good. But anyway,
You gotta tell them if they read the comments, Mel. Tell them if they see comments that people are not talking about them, right?
Yeah. Last night the mayor, he started the whole COVID thing. Remember that thing went statewide, nationwide. Well, last night he came up with a new term.
Oh,
Doodle boy. He called these people doodle boys.
I haven't heard that since elementary school in Hana.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That triggered everybody. I mean, everybody fell apart, and we anyway. So we're printing a Doodle Boy shirt now. We're gonna be selling that. All our proceeds from our shirts go to the Hawaii Community Foundation. But anyway, Representative Decoite is a returning guest. So like I explained to Senator English, we're just gonna turn it over and give us an overview of your areas, Maui, Molokai, Lanai, and you guys have made the news more than any other county. So we try to bring the people on that can can dispel rumor and just state facts and what's really going on. So with that, I'm going to just turn it over to you folks.
Thank you. Well, Lynn, let me just give a big overview, and then Lynn and I just jump in, so we just go and talk. But the first thing is that one of the very first things that Lynn and I did together was, we asked the governor to shut down the Hana Highway. We asked the mayor, Victorino, to shut down the backside Pilani Highway. And then we asked, the National Guard, asked the governor to call in the National Guard to protect our isolation in East Maui, Molokai, Lanai. And, we did that really early. And I think that's really helped us, because in Hana, we've only had one case, and that was somebody that went to Canada and then Seattle and then came home, right? And then a Molokai is somebody that went to Las Vegas, came home, and kind of didn't follow the rules and got somebody else sick, and then 2 people on Molokai. But Lanai, no known cases on the island. So the idea of isolation has really worked. We also have a good community where people understand it, right? And it's also giving the land some time to rest. You know what I mean? Like the ocean is refreshing, the mountains are refreshing, the water's clean, pollution is down. So staying home it's been in a way, it's cleansing for the land, right? Cleansing for the place. We also have, for instance, in Hana, I'm about 80% unemployment, right? Upcountry Maui, it's pretty bad too. Molokai, Lynn can give you those numbers. Lanai, we're in for we gotta hold on tight for Lanai. And so we're trying to feed people. I mean, Lynn and I have been out busing Okole to get food and get food long term, because we haven't had these kind of numbers since the Depression, right? And we even surpassed those numbers. So what happened about 100 years ago, 2 things that happened 100 years ago. First was the Spanish flu pandemic. And, something, just a point on that was, it's called the Spanish flu because the Spanish were neutral in World War I, and the only ones that kept records. The flu actually started somewhere in Middle America, in like an army base or military base in Kentucky or somewhere like that. The second point was, 100 years ago, about 100 years ago, a little less, 90 years ago, we had the Great Depression where the markets failed, right? So we're having the combination of both right now. And, Lynn and I and Kyle, we're trying to figure out how to do long-term to feed our people. Lynn had a great idea that originated on Molokai. I'm reduplicating here on Maui, to get seeds, do starts, distribute food to people so they can plant. And Lynn is the only farmer in our legislature. She has, I think, 800 acres or something of sweet potato. So when we come to growing food, I defer to Lynn, and she was like, Kalani, you got to do the starts, because if we give people seeds, 80% going to just put them in the drawer, right? It's not going to get planted. If we give them starts, it's going to go in the ground at some point. So, I have, Lynn has a whole bunch of seeds on Molokai. We're getting some to Lanai. We're doing some here to do the long-term, tell people, okay, we got to plant food because we got to feed ourselves. And so anyway, Lynn has been doing an outstanding job. I don't know if you've seen it, but she's out there delivering boxes of food to the kupuna, taking, and, okay, so the Polynesian, our worldview is everybody or nobody, right? I mean, for us, it's the way, and I'm really seeing this with our different communities, for the locals, Polynesians, okay, we're going to take care of everybody, right? Hawaiians, we don't care who you are, what you got to eat, we're going to get you food. You need stuff, we're going to get you stuff. I have some, okay, wait, when they tell us, Lynn, we cannot use the word haole anymore, even though it's a Hawaiian word that means foreigner. What do we call them? Americans? I don't know what, Well, so anyway.
Senator, on this forum, and
yeah.
Lynn knows this quite well, because she broke the ice. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, so, no offense, but, for the Americans, the people that moved here, their worldview is me and I, and it's individualistic, right? So I have a lot of people, Lynn has too, calling us saying, you know, my rights are violated. I cannot go to the beach. I cannot do this. I cannot do that. And we're saying, you know what? We got to take care of everybody, right? So yeah, maybe you cannot go beach, you know, it's a little bit inconvenient, but we don't want the virus to spread. You know, we're trying to make sure people are well, people are taken care of, people have food. So, you know, I'm really seeing that clash of worldviews, right? I want to mention too, Niihau, because you guys, you know, we're the only, Kauai County and Maui County, we're the only multi-island counties, right? And so it's different. And, you know, shout out to the Robinson family and to, you know, the Po'inihau, because they have been really good at isolating, at, you know, taking care of their own people and making sure that the Po'inihau are cared for, you know, that they're isolated in their different communities. And, you know, they're doing a really, really, really good job. So, you know, I want to recognize that for Kauai because we're doing the same on Molokai and Lanai, right? I mean, for Lynn, you know, Lynn and I had to sort of go to battle with our local administration here to say, you know what, don't go to Lanai. Nobody's nobody's sick over there. Nobody is, you know, the medical infrastructure is taking care of their own people. They have enough tests, they have enough everything. Let's keep them isolated. And so, you know, we had to go to battle to keep everybody off the island. So, you know, don't go up against Lynn because she's gonna tell you, right? So that's a quick rundown. I mean, there's plenty more we'll fill in as we talk, but yeah, you know, and I cannot forget, you know, our upcountry, you know, like Makawao, Paia, Haiku, Pukalani, Kula, those communities, they're doing very well too. So, you know, like we told our constituents over there, you know, we're concentrating on the hot areas right now, and it's not that we're forgetting about you, but we know that you guys are, it's really pretty good. So, you know, we're going to put some attention there, but right now let's take care of the hot spots. So Lynn, I turn it over to you.
So, first of all, thank you, aloha, Senator. Thank you, Mel and Charlie. You know, I've been watching you guys, and Frank De Lima and Augie took it to a whole new level, man. Just trying to get Frank De Lima on should have just been a comedy in itself, but you know, aloha to you guys. You know, everything what Senator has said, it's been a struggle. You know, we worked through virtual town hall meetings. You know, you know, it's not as if it's all peaches and creams, as you guys know. You know, I believe Governor had said it well. Kauai has stand on their own. They'd use your mayor as an example of when you shut things down and the COVID hits and now the doodle boys and the doodle girls out there, you know, he said it. You know, sometimes you gotta say it. You know, and it's funny because I get on brother-in-law called Howley Boy. And I stay in the mainland and I say, hey, Howley Boy. And everybody turn around, look, right? And I'm like, no, there's only one Howley Boy I'm calling, right? But, you know, it's a different world. Senator and I have spent a lot of days and nights on the telephone. In my case, you know, my family's like, you still on the damn phone? Like, get the hell off the phone. But there's so many issues, yeah. You know, people are not going to agree with everything we make. We do it in the best interest of our community. And not to forget, Ko'olave is also in our district, yeah. And when the fire started on Ko'olave, both of us sat down and had the conversation that we wanted all the departments, all hands on deck, fire out of control, remembering that there were still ordinances that have not been found, and whether or not collateral damage was a case. But like you said, the hot spots, yeah, for us, we've never forgotten Haiku and Paia, but we wanted to make sure that COVID-19 spread out wouldn't affect those areas. So, you know, Senator and I have had our ups and downs. We've had our agreements and our disagreements, even to the point where, shit, you actually send that sucker to me for deal with that. But, you know, we battle through the things, and then we take a look at everything and we lay it on the table and we go, is this possible? Can we do that? Can we work with our partners? And it's all about the partnerships, even like you guys, right? Charlie, you and Mel, I mean, it's always been about partnership. How's it going over Molokai and Maui and Lanai? Well, at one point, you know, it was kind of getting a little heated. Because people are frustrated. You lock a dog in a cage, let the dog out. If you don't move away from the gate, the sucker run you right over, right? So, you're contained, you have your family, and though we all love our spouses, at some point later on, you start to get into each other's faces. So I gotta head this one out to Miracle Comedy because he started doing some crazy shit, and I was like, oh my god, I would never do that. But the recipes and the interaction with the kids, we're challenged, as they say, we're in challenging era. But at the same time, we appreciate the rural, the isolation, and the fact that the true barter system exists here today. So
Yeah.
the fishermen, the hunters, the farmers, they're all in tune. The sad part was that, you look at on state budget at 0.05% of that state budget focusing on the agriculture sector, yeah. And they said, we knew that this day would come when we would resort back to have we grown food, or in the case of Prince Hill, I know Pula Pula, and taking it back to the land, growing our food. You look at Kamehameha School, 100th anniversary song contest doesn't go on. And then you fall back and you go back into history. Yeah. So I think the impacts is real. I think the conversion going forward is the big issue for most of us. And then trying to teach those, and it's not to degrade or put our millennials down, but they haven't grown up in an age where you could literally spank the kid, not kill the kid or abuse the kid, but you could literally spank your child so that you would give them the wake up call. And then the next time was just the look of, you better sit down. You better get off the chair.
We all got that look, right? Growing up.
Yeah. So, it's
The best one is go get the slippers, I can whack you.
yeah,
And you go get the slipper, right?
Put a guava branch. Go broke
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guava branch from the tree, so I
Yeah.
can whip you with the guava branch that you picked from the tree.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
my
but
Catholic school teachers.
Because my neighbor is Japanese and they slipper ain't rubber, it's like hard wood. It was like
Yeah.
2x4 with a
Oh.
string.
yeah. So,
one of the things, I think Hawaii is such a delicate, it's an ecosystem of its own, right? We're isolated, and Maui, you guys had some rough luck with visitors coming back and the whole Maui Memorial thing. But that can happen on any island. That a visitor chose Maui, or however it started, you're one guy flying to Vegas or whatever it is. My point is this: is each of our islands are so vulnerable. It just takes one person
Doodle boy,
to
doodle
create,
girl.
yeah. Well, a doodle boy is more of the ones that are ignoring the rules. The ones that go and protests on May 1st.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, why don't you guys relax? And we're all struggling, we're all sacrificing, but any island can get a cluster like that with just one person. And I think that's what we're trying to say, right? Hey, let's just get it right. Let's contain this thing and isolate so we can start enjoying life as we used to. And I think Maui was a great example of how quick things can change. The island of Maui, with a cluster. Kona, same thing with the two McDonald's. It just takes one person, and things can get ugly really, really, really quick.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of I'll lead us to the next topic. And thank you for that overview. But we're looking at opening up. I hear a lot of discussion today on the governor's conference. It seems like the focus again is trying to open up. And Kauai might look ready to open up, but again, if we don't have a handle, and I know Senator English, I saw you posted that article about the 4, those are doodle heads, doodle boys that got caught on Oahu violating the quarantine.
Yeah.
I'd like to spend some time and hear your folks' perspective on what do we do with these visitors that insist on coming and potentially destroy that delicate ecosystem that I was just talking about.
Wow. Well, okay. So, Maui County, I mean, each county handles it differently, but in Maui, it's when they land, they have to fill out that form. And then what Marvin Moniz and the guys at the Maui airport are doing, they say, okay, give us your cell number. They'll call it right there to make sure it actually rings. Then they'll say what hotel, they'll call the hotel and say, okay, so-and-so is coming, right? And they know the times to get to the hotel. Then when they check in, the front desk calls the guys at the airport and says they're there. It's turned over to Hawaii, what is it? Hawaii Visitors Bureau.
No, social, or
Yeah,
tourism
HTA,
authority.
Hawaii Tourism Authority. And then there's a tracking. I mean, everybody helps. In Maui, anyway, you know, the list that comes in every night, every day goes to the police department. And the police have that. So, you know, when they go out and they see, because you know a tourist car now, right? You kind of figure it out. A rental car, it's so unusual to see it on the road now. The police have actually, like, you know, people have said, oh, I'm staying here, and they're like, no, you're supposed to be at this hotel and you're out of quarantine, and they will take them back. And then, you know, if it gets out of hand, they'll arrest them. And some have been, you know, I like to use the term deported, because, you know, they said, okay, you're violating the terms of your, either you go jail or you go home, which one you like, right? So they go home. So we're trying to get real serious with it. And, you know, I don't like the term opening up, because, you know, it's we are changed. You know, the world is forever changed. And it's not that we're going to go back to what it was. We have to create a new world and create a new economy and it's going to be, you know, we were at 11 million visitors a year for a population of 1.4 million, right? And we all kind of can see what it is without that much people here. So how do we create the new economy, right? How do we start growing our own food? And then how do we create the jobs and the movement of capital and money within the community so that people can prosper again, people can, you know, pay what they need to pay, but also not be overrun. I mean, you know, just really truthfully saying that, you know, I think for me on the Hana Highway, you know, I dreaded driving that highway during the day, because 13 miles an hour, you know, behind a line of 47 cars and nobody wants to pull over, right? You know, Mel, you know, Charlie, you know this road really well when you was on Maui.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
the locals are just frustrated. And now we're driving, it's like, wow, I can actually, you know, travel this road without being, I mean, there were cows on the highway yesterday. You know, I haven't seen that for years, right?
You said you needed protein. Why you never grab one?
Yeah, sorry. You know, I didn't want to ruin my truck.
Well, you know, I think you know, for me, since starting this journey with Mel, I'm trying to inform the people and let them make that decision for themselves, is that I always felt, and like you said, the police can stop the people if they're out, okay? But it's that minute in time that they're out, that's when the spread can occur.
Absolutely.
There's that break. And that's the part that frustrates me, because they may say, well, I was just gone for 1 hour. You know, even criminals that commit crimes like murder, all it took them was a few minutes. And so that's how I equate, that's how my mind is thinking. I said, you know, just for that split moment in time, the spread occurs. Now, that clock is gotta be turned back, but how do you turn it back once the spread starts from there? And I think what Maui Memorial has shown us is that once it starts, and if you don't get a real good handle on it, and we're talking about a visitor population that's minuscule compared to what they're looking at. And so, you know, I don't know if you saw a couple of nights ago, we had Mufi Hanneman on, and it was so refreshing to hear from him that his belief is, until we have the mechanisms in place, nobody comes. Nobody comes. Or if they do, they're going to be subjected to such stringent rules. But right now, what we have in place, it's not strict enough. It's not going to achieve it, because you're going to have that. You're going to have that allowable break in time, and that is what I worry about. Is that break right there?
Let me read this comment real quick. Just came in, and this is from someone says, I just talked to my neighbor. National Guard and police went knocking on her door today. Apparently, a visitor used her address as a place of residence. She had no idea who this person is. I'm sure this has happened before and will continue to happen since visitors are still coming. You see, you can call a hotel, but if you're staying in a private residence, there's no and there's no assurance that that you're going to connect. you talked about the Maui police. Kauai's doing that too. They're going and they're knocking on doors with the National Guard. But you know, Charlie and I, former cops, you know, Charlie, how many stakeouts have you gone? And you
Yeah.
stake them out 4 hours, 5 hours, and then right after you leave, the place get burglarized, and you know you find out the next day that you
Well,
just
no,
never stayed long
but
enough.
the thing is, the reason why is during a stakeout. Half the time we sleeping, so when we wake up, then we realize they got
Ah.
burger.
We're gonna have to cut him off pretty soon.
No, but you know,
Let's
I
go
agree
ahead.
with you guys though. You know, I totally agree because it's like on dog in heat, right? For the minute you leave the dog alone, the neighbor's dog gonna come breed the dog. So, you know, it's like they put the trackers on them, right? Track those guys because, you know, these guys coming in, taking them to the hotel, and I'm gonna use this as an example. Big Island, pick up this guy, went to see his mom. As soon as he gets off the plane, took him straight to the hotel. Well, if you're not tracking this guy, you know, like they give you that stuff, they put him behind your ear. So you outside of the perimeter, it shocks you, right? You know, or it alarms them to know that you're outside of your where you're supposed to be. But the minute you let them go, that one individual, and I don't believe we're doing enough to deter these guys. And you deter them by making an example of them, because even here on Molokai, you get guys coming in. Of course, they're claiming residency, but residency is two residencies. You get your snowbirds and you get where they originally came from. And then this becomes a haven. But at the same time, where is the residency? Which is why when now you go to Lahaina and Kapalua or any place in Maui County, if you like the Kama'aina Reef, you got to show your driver's license, the Hawaii driver's license, right? So if you don't want a Hawaii driver's license, you don't get the discount. So what they do, they invite the local brother and a sister. Hey, come, let's have dinner together, and then you get the 20% discount. Well, if you order one bottle, $100 bottle of wine, that's $20 off. And you know they love to wine and dine on the west side. So, you know, we gotta
So, you know, speaking of wining and dining, so Lynn and I both have, you know, a cocktail next to us. Is it okay?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
no, I'm eating a
Manuia.
hamburger that I just wolfed down.
There you go.
Mine is water, unfortunately, water. My wife will not let me come on this show if I have alcohol.
I only have
Looks like water.
glasses right now that so I can see you guys, and you guys looking pretty good right now, except now you get on blue light. Is the cops outside of your window? It keeps flashing. Charlie, did you send the cops on Mel?
Somebody must have used my address, like to Makani Road in Awilo House Lots. I'm sure the tourists want to come stay over here. How's this? How about this? I've seen this suggestion about 10 times in the last 30 seconds on the feed. We close down the barbershops, we close down salons, we close down a bunch of bars, right? What if we just shut down the rental cars? Why wouldn't we say, in order to rent your car, you got to show proof that you have been here for 14 days. Cut off that opportunity for them to drive. You see, we're not trying to make it comfortable for them. And when I spoke to Mufi, he said, we want to make it so uncomfortable that they don't want to come.
Well,
rental car.
Yeah, I mean, you know, good idea. You can, you come in, you're staying at this hotel. The hotel got to pick you up, right? Take you to the hotel. You know, the hotel workers, they're the ones I've talked to, they're happy for a job, but they're also pissed with these guys coming in, right? Yeah. They're like, you know, stay way over there. You know, I'll check you in from across the lobby. You know, don't come too close. Go to your room and stay in your room. The maids don't want to go in and clean the room, right? I mean, it's like, here's your sheets, go take care of your own stuff. So, you know, I mean, it is uncomfortable. But here's the thing that we're hearing, you know, and talking to Ron Kochi, right? I mean, he was telling us a story where, you know, people are basically saying, well, if we got to quarantine, you know, let's go to Hawaii and quarantine in one hotel room because it's better than in New York City or wherever. But those are the guys we're the most scared of, right? They're coming from these areas and they want to quarantine in our hotels. You know, for me, I mean, what I'm hearing, I have a lot of people said, how come we just don't close the airports? How come we don't close our borders? You know, if we were independent, we would close our borders. I work with a lot of Pacific Island countries. Republic of the Marshall Islands, shut the whole country down. Nobody in or out. Tuvalu, country of 11,000 people, shut everything down. Nothing in, nothing out. Palau, 22,000 people, nothing in it. I mean, the only way they get things in is on a tuna boat now. And because it takes 14 days to come in, 15 days. So all of their stuff is coming in on those boats. The people on the ground, Tuvalu with 11,000, they're related to Samoan, right? They're so happy now. When I get on, to talk to the government and the people there, they're like, oh my God, we're back to the way it was. We're self-sustaining, we're not dealing with all these people. So when people tell us in Hawaii, close down the airports, close down, we cannot. We're part of the union, right? And we don't control that. So that's what we gave up when we joined America in 1959. And, everybody's demanding that we close the borders. So I think it brings the whole issue of, where do we go? Where does Hawaii go? How do we deal with this? And, is self-governance something that we need to really talk about?
Senator English, let me ask you something, and as well as you, Lynn. Is it difficult for the governor to move off his position about having a government-run quarantine to keep it? I mean, if we can't close the airports down, but have a quarantine that when someone comes off the plane, they go straight in a bus and they go straight to a location, whether it be, say, for Honolulu, whether it be the dormitories at the University of Hawaii or a designated hotel that has put so many floors aside for quarantine. Is it really hard? I mean, what's your take on it? Is it the governor just doesn't want to do that, or what?
Well, I'll tell you what, if we do a forced quarantine like that, it means the state has to pay for all of it, right? If it's one of the quarantines that we're doing now, they have to pay for it. So, it's just the cost. I mean, we're dealing with health, and we said early on, okay, health is paramount, right? We take care of the health of our people first. But, I think that I cannot second guess the governor, but I'm sort of trying to process it and think about it.
I can. So,
okay,
yeah, you can, but I can. So anything's possible. He can do that. And I agree with what you said. We want to make it as extremely uncomfortable, right? Because, for the rent-a-cars to do it, is the rent-a-car owners that needs to do it. The corporation need to say, we're going to shut them down because we're prolonging the agony here. Let's just take the hit, shut it down, come COVID-19 free and start it up. The longer we're in this position, the worse off the state, the people that live here is going to take to recover, yeah? Because everybody wants to know what is the recovery period. So when Senator English, Senate President Kochi guys got to meet and have the discussion, of course, there's many moving parts, but the parts that we need to come back with to them is the solutions. What about this? You're right. All the people that are responding to it, hey, they're great ideas. People would email me and text me all the time. Lynne, these sucking guys, they keep coming in. What should we do? I'm like, shoot them. But I mean, not shoot them, but just how do we address that issue? You put them in, and this is what they've done way back, because sometimes government issues. So these guys coming in, we cannot just do them for the tourists now. The problem we had was that they were the local residents coming back now. Remember this, we had some of them that were kids that had served on missions and so forth. And Samoa was shutting down. We had individuals trying to come back home. They were on their missions. But when we do it to one, we have to do it to all, yeah. On the quarantine, having the parents jump up and say, hey, that's my kid, I am gonna quarantine it. Yeah, there's many that did it. And I think the broader population of kupunas really was the one who actually quarantined themselves, yeah? And then you had the other guys that said, hey, my grandparent is standing in line for food. This is unacceptable by government. I said, hey, by the way, how old are you? They're like, what does this have to do with it? I said, if you knew any better, out of respect to your grandparent in kupuna, you should be in line. I said, we're trying to deliver food to them, which is why the servicing came to kupunas and displaced workers in that line of order, while the food banks were servicing everybody in between. But we do it to one, we have to consider the bulk of the repercussions on everybody, yeah? And
well, I'm in agreement on that. And I think if we're talking about the health and welfare or the health and safety of all, I think we all have to go through it.
Yep.
So that brings me up to where we're at now. If we've gotten the curve flattened, right, as it appears, it's flattened, then why not allow people start moving around just as long it doesn't come from the outside in, because we know the danger comes from the outside in. If we just move amongst ourselves, we ourselves are not going to create the thing to come back up. There is no way, because even the brightest mind says that once you flatten it out, and like for Kauai, for example, we've been in incubation how many weeks now with 0 cases. So that means that there is no way that thing is going to pop up right now.
And I totally agree, Charlie. And if anybody has to own it right now and have that privilege, is Lanai. You know what I mean? Yeah. 0. I believe that Lanai should be running around free on the beaches, surfing, swimming, laying on the beach. I don't believe they should be in a lockdown, and that the entry part at Manele should strictly be, you coming in, brother, I'm testing you. And if you don't live here, you get no business on this island. No, tell me about one place, or I just come in for check on my place. You know, we can check on them when we back open for business. In the meantime, the people of Lanai is like, get out of Dodge, because they deserve that right, man. Look at how long they've been COVID-19 free, and yet the complaint still became, hey, get one Lanai resident. Hey, mind you, the Lanai resident didn't happen on Lanai. So those people have been in isolation, doing everything, being maka'ala about anybody and everybody. Senator and I get the calls, hey, get one yacht outside here. You know, when boats come around Molokai, and you guys know this, and it's been very territorial, everybody know who the boat is. Everybody know what the guy doing if it's anchored out there. And yeah, you better believe it. The resources and stuff has become territorial. They're going to start flying some bullets across there. But Lanai owns that right to me. And even we talk about education and stuff. You know, I feel sorry for our kids that no can have graduation. You know, once in a lifetime, the valedictorian, salutatorian. I mean, I never got to even the honor roll, but you know, we had the grassroots kind of action going on. We knew that if that was fire, we was going to get burned, so we wouldn't jump in the fire. But you know, these are the eras. You guys too, flat line. You know, the curve is down. You know, but we saw what happened. What was it? State Illinois. What state just had the full-on outbreak? Soon they open. Yeah. But of course, we need the salons. Look at this shit. I mean, God damn it. I can't even like look at myself anymore. I'm like, holy smoke, look at that right here. You know, but hey, you know, that gotta be mandatory. And I saw one lady actually doing the hair from 6 feet away. So hey, that's a priority. And if we took a vote on this today, that would totally be 100% straight up open the
Well,
salon.
you know, I tell you right now, just today I had chiropractic service. It was air chiropractic. The doctor was there. I was just looking at him, and I was trying to feel good, but I just wasn't working for me.
But you got the bill, right?
But I got the bill.
It was
You know,
nothing.
I wanna kind of, it's kind of connected, because you know, we talk about these people coming in. You know, I look at them as being very selfish and irresponsible when they come here. But as Mufi said the other night, he said, you know, I'm going to say something that's going to upset the local people, but we shouldn't be flying there as well, to not only to possibly infect them, but or to bring back something from wherever they go. So I think it's a very, you know, nobody talks about that. We only talk about the tourists coming. I wish we could stop them. I wish, and I agree with you, Senator English. You know, we're not going to stop the flights from coming, but we got to focus on the control that we have.
Yeah.
You know, our governor can dictate what's essential and not. But
you know, Mel, here on Maui, we have had, that has been the big debate, because, you know, like I said, Lynn and I asked the governor to bring out the National Guard, right, early, and blockade Hana, to keep Hana, you know, people out of Hana. So the tourists are gone. It's the local people wanting, oh, we don't have nothing to do, we're going to cruise to Hana. Then it's also to keep our Hana people from going out, right? We're trying to tell them, you know, only to a car, it's for essential. So the National Guard is questioning people going out as well. Where are you going? You know, you're only supposed to have 2 in a car. Okay, you're going shopping, okay? You know, and then after a while, this, you know, I was talking to the National Guard guys yesterday. They said, oh, we recognize certain cars already. in and out. So we're turning them around, and we kind of see the patterns. So in Maui, we've had to have that internal discussion. In Hana, right? We're discussing who's local, who lives here, who's a resident. I have Hawaiian families that are, reaching out and saying, oh, can we have 18 passes, resident access cards because, we get Aina and Hana and we like come out. And I'm like, Auntie, I'm really sorry, but right now we're asking you to please not come in to protect your whole family, right?
Mhm.
Oh, but we got to go clean the yard. I said, maybe you guys can let the yard go for, it hasn't been raining too much. I mean, let it go for a month. And then when we're, in a better condition, you guys can come. So we've been having that debate here, even Molokai, Lanai. Oh, we have somebody that's been like, oh, I go back and forth. I'm essential. I got to go to Lahaina on the boat. My girlfriend got to come back. No, I don't need to fill out that paperwork. We get calls, the guy's coming, he's coming with the boat. He's refusing to fill out the paperwork. What do? We call Department of Health. We call the police and said, go, this guy doesn't want to comply with the quarantine. He's going inter-island and he's saying, oh, because I have a place on Lanai and because I don't know what the job is. I'm essential. So I go Lahaina every day on a boat. You can bring that's dangerous for Lanai, right?
Exactly.
And
And
so
I think,
Lynn and I just said, you know what, call the police. I mean, if you have to arrest this guy, arrest him.
and that's, I think, if you want to isolate Hawaii, it works both ways. And we've been sacrificing, and everybody's been sacrificing. We have, you have the essential jobs. Kauai construction is considered essential in our affordable housing projects. So we have construction workers that's flying in from off island, and they work here for the week. And I got a message today that last night they're out at the right outside of the condo, drinking their beer, smoking their cigarettes, and totally violating the curfew, number one. But those little things, that's my concern. Is it only takes one, and we can roll the dice as much as we can, and maybe we won't crap out. But that one time, Lanai, can you imagine if Lanai was to get infected? Molokai, if those clusters weren't contained, and you decimate the population. You could, in essence, wipe out the population. Definitely change the demographics of that place. So I think we gotta be smart, and even as ourselves, my daughter and I was supposed to go to Texas April 1st. Obviously, we couldn't go, so she has her little ticket that she can use. She wants to come home. I said, you ain't coming home. You stay in Oregon until this stuff settles down. It's not that I don't want to see her. Of course I want her here. She's not working, right? They all lost their jobs. It would be nice to have her home. But we got to sacrifice a little while longer for the betterment of the community. And that's what I'm hoping that people see. And stop being so damn selfish.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. You just said it right there. That's what I said when we first started, right? Our worldview is everybody. We take care of everybody. Everybody give up a little bit. Everybody work together. Everybody come together. We take care of everybody. The outside view is, no, me, I like to sit outside and drink, right? I wanna go to the beach. I want to do this. And we all have to give up to protect everyone. So, that's why I think the Nihau community is so well protected, because they're still Mana'o Hawaii, right? They're still thinking in the old style, and they're still like, we take care of everybody. You guys know that, right? The communities, they hui together, and they're going to take care and make sure, okay, we got to stop, and everybody stop. In Hana, we still have, that to a good extent. Molokai still to a good extent. But then we have the few that like, my right, I have people, emailing, my right, my constitutional rights have been trampled on by you because you called out the National Guard. No, we protected everybody, right? And they're helping us to protect everybody. So you're absolutely right. There's a lot of selfishness out there, and we have to get beyond that. I've also seen some, unbelievable expressions of aloha and giving and selflessness, right? People just, okay, here's food, go give out this food, you know, here's seed, here's whatever, and they help. So it brings out the best and it brings out the worst. Luckily, we've seen, for the most part, people being really good, yeah, for the most part.
You know, and the community has been really good about it. I think, you know, the longer they stay in isolation, they start to then take matters into their own hands. In this case, you know, it's a family member to another family member. Hey, you know, cuz I gotta stay home. Like get your ass at home too, you know, so that we can come out and enjoy, you know, life as it once was, but in a different world. So, you know, we lucky, like you guys too, right? Coconut wireless. By the time you get home, grandma already knows. So just get ready for bend over and get cracks. But you know, we have to resort back to, hey, you know, your kids stay down here. Oh, by the way, you know, so and so is still over there. You know, it takes that, you know, guidance and wisdom, and you know, everybody just participating because there's a lot of disagreements. You know, in the smaller communities, I gotta tell you, the smaller ones is the worst ones. Everybody know everything about anything, but at the same time, you know, when an argument occurs or disagreement, and many fields of whatever disagreement is had, the disagreement can only be between you and another person. Try get one outsider step into your argument that you argue with somebody else, and that poor guy is gonna get it. But the two original people that started that argument with each other, and that's the kind of you know, community tightness that you see. So COVID-19 has brought out the best and the worst of us. But while it's flatline, let's keep it there. Let's make sure that even us as government, because you know, we get some good government officials out there, and we get some really crappy ones too. But when all is said and done, we try to make the best decisions we can for those very areas that we represent, and it's not gonna make everybody happy. But at the same time, the sacrifices are made because the next level becomes the movie Purge, right? Okay, 24-hour purge. That's when the COVIDiots beware, because as many of you know, in your areas as well as Hana, Molokai, and stuff, we are those that gather, we are those that fish and hunt, and we share. You know, anti-normal cow, we're going to take them over there. The barter trade system is in full effect here. And you'd be surprised that even those that never had that relationship or a good one, we feeding them. And then you get the comment, hey, you know, I really knew you was kind of on dick before, but you're kind of really nice. You know,
Yeah,
um,
that's right.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, Lynn, you kind of one bitch, but you know, thanks for feeding me. But hey, you know what? You, I consider you family, and were raised to treat each other with dignity and respect. And if somebody is on the side of the road, believe me, people will stop. And I'm sorry, but the 6 foot social distance, that's when you gotta go aloha to brother and sister. Hey, what you need help? Hey, I can help you. You know, and that's what it's all about, helping one another. So get through this.
Yeah, you know,
Well,
like
you know,
our,
folks, just to let you know, Mel and I, we do have our fingers on the censor button, but Lynn just went slide them before we could do anything. So
Sorry.
just want to let you know,
I'm
it
sorry.
was
Don't,
said.
do not apologize, Lynn. Do not apologize. I mean, that's what this is about. This is like,
Yeah.
you know, everybody that's come on here,
Yeah.
the people see that human side of them. Every single person that has come on our show, and we have been doing this for over, I think, maybe close to a month. We have someone every single night, and the comments all the same. We just did not know that these people had a human side. So please
Yeah.
don't censor it. I mean, you know, it's I mean, when the lieutenant governor Josh Green said someone was full of shit, the place went nuts. It erupted, and it will pretty soon. But anyway, my point is this: the people, they want to hear you for who you are, not as the senator or the representative, but Kalani English and Lynne Decoite, who live on or represent Maui, live on Molokai, live on Maui. How do you guys, as people that happen to be representatives and senators, how do you guys feel? That's what this is all about. That's what this is all
and
about.
you know, that's why we appreciate it. That's why you know, when Lynn said let's do it, I said, oh yeah, because I've been watching you guys, right? And I've been appreciating it. You know, basically I have my, you know, I have my drink at the end of the night, and I'm sitting here watching you guys, and I'm laughing. I really, really, really appreciate it. You know, you were talking about affordable housing, yeah, and the Senate came up to Kauai, I think was in, God, seems like a lifetime ago, but that was in like November, December, yeah.
Yeah, about
And
3 or 4 months ago.
yeah, and I remember we went to your affordable housing project. I think it was in Puhi or Puhi, yeah,
Koloa, Koloa.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, Koloa and Waimea.
yeah. So I think it was the one in Waimea up anyway by the coffee farms, yeah. But below anyway, we were very impressed with it because we met the people there and saw the projects that they did and the quality of what they were doing, right? And I always say, Kauai, you guys do it different. And I always my background is Hawaiian Polynesian history, right? So I can say never conquered, never, and always have your own way of doing it. I always respect that because your way of doing it, it gives another view. And I was so impressed with those people at the self-help housing because those families came together. I saw them helping each other working on their houses together, and how things came together. Then we went to the shrimp farm, right, on that side, and see what they do. And then we went to, just all these different projects on Kauai. Um, you guys do it well. And we can see when your community works together and comes together. Um, it's like us, we have our internal fights, but when somebody comes from outside, we put our best forward, right? uh, and that's what we got to see is your really your good parts. And I want to give really a lot of kudos to your Senate President Ron Kochi, because he is your champion. And we always tease him, the three Maui senators. We say, okay, we have a fourth Maui senator, which is Ron. And Ron always says, well, I'm the only senator for Kauai, but I get three other votes, right? So, that's how we work together. And Kauai, always impressive, always impressive. Uh, I have family up there, and it's always good to see them, good to touch bases with my cousins up there. And wow, again, mahalo Kauai, mahalo nihau, because um, we're I think our communities are close, yeah, because we're still rural, we're still remote. Um, and in Hana and Molokai and Lanai, um, they'll say, "Oh, well, who's your parents? Who's your grandparents?" Oh, okay,
The genealogy thing, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'll tell you a story. There was a young man, maybe about 35, 40, that came, Hawaiian man that came back to Hana, and was sort of around Hana. And so everybody's like, "Oh, who are you?" And he said, "Oh, my father was from Hana. I was raised on Big Island, but he passed away, so I came home to meet my family." So we're like, "Okay, well, who is your father?" Then he says the name. "Oh, okay. Oh, that's your mom. Okay, so and so is your grandfather. So and so is your great grandfather. Your family's over there in Ma'ua in Kaupo. These are all your first cousins, your second cousins, your third cousins." Everywhere this guy went, right? I mean, he was like surprised. Everybody knew his genealogy. We know where which family comes from where over here, right? The ancient families all know. So we know, okay, this is so and so, and their land is over there. Their land is over here. So the whole question around, you know, who is a resident and who's not in this side of the island because of the blockades has really brought up that old debate, right? So people have told other people here, "Oh, we haven't seen you in Hana," and they're like, "Yeah, but here's who my family is," and "Oh, okay, yeah, you belong, right? You are part of the old families." And then we have people that have just moved here, okay, 20, 30 years, we consider that still new, right? But they just moved here, but they've been here long enough that we go, okay, yeah, we recognize, them. We recognize all the stuff that they do. So out here, and like you guys, we don't judge people by their titles, right? I'm senator, Lynne is representative. Over here, it doesn't matter. It's what you do, how you do it, how you relate to people, and the old style, what you give. My tutu and my grandfather's uncle, right? So this is when I was a little kid, my Uncle Leone Helekahi. Um, so I was probably 7, 8, 9 around that time, and he was in his 80s. So he would on his birthday, he would always kill a pig or a cow and mahele that out to family. So as a little kid, I was like, Tutu, how come? He says, that's how the Hawaiians do it. It's his, his giving to celebrate his life. In the West, we think, okay, it's my birthday, give me presents, right? It's the Hawaiian thinking is, it's my birthday, I'm gonna give. See the difference? So that's what we still have. That's what Kauai still has. That's what I see up there. So anyway, I just wanted to mahalo you guys and just say we're so proud to be, your sister islands, right, with you guys.
Well, we throughout the hurricane, we saw a lot of that happen. It lasted for a while because the hurricane took a long time to recover. There were physical damages, there were physical obstacles. People couldn't move because you couldn't. The road was broken, or it was physically broken. Where now, this virus is invisible, and people tend to really get complacent because it doesn't appear that bad. And I know I get criticized a lot because I talk about the cases and I don't talk about the number of people that recover. Well, that's important as well. This is a deadly virus that I think people totally underestimate. And I don't know if I know, Lynn, you probably know, but Senator Charlie lost his brother just about a month ago, less than a month ago, from New York to this virus. So, this is real, and we're not part of the contiguous United States where we can just move. Families can move, or they can drive. Over here, this is our home. This is where we live. We're not going to pack up and leave. And that's why it's so delicate, and we got to protect it so much. And that's why I'm hoping that at some point everyone will have that same, the real aloha spirit. That it's, when I hear about people planning this mega protest to go challenge the government's curfew and wearing masks, that's not aloha. That's not the aloha spirit. You're not being part of the team. And
let's talk about the word aloha just for a minute, yeah. Aloha has many different meanings. The po'inihau, they understand this well. Depends how you say aloha. Aloha means hello, means goodbye, means I love you. But if you say it with the right inflection, aloha, that's like, aue, yeah, aloha ke nakanaka. It's like, oh, too bad that person, right? So aloha has many different meanings, and we only emphasize the one part. But the poho part, the mina part, the part with, so the po'inihau, they understand this. And I hear them, they still use it. I heard my tutu and the old people in Hana, they would say, aloha te nakanaka, aloha kera mea, yeah? It means too bad, or it's what a waste. So it's the inflection and how you use it. And that's all encompassed in the word. When we talk about aloha in the tourist aspect, right? The native Hawaiian ear kind of hears only, that one small part of the meaning, but it also encompasses the whole thing. Now, when we talk about the tourist, maybe it's aloha. Yeah, maybe it's that aue aloha. That meaning to it. So
I had no idea about that. Thank you.
Yeah, and when you talk to the Hawaiian speakers on Kauai, they'll tell you that, that, and you gotta listen, because Hawaiian is inflection, yeah, how the tone, it conveys the meaning. And, so a lot of times, I've heard native speakers that work I had an Auntie Audrey Kauai over here many years ago, worked at the hotel, and she, that singing Hawaiian voice. And I used to love it because I was, working in the dining room as a waiter, and she would have these tourists, I mean, the absolute worst attitude. And she'd go, aloha, welcome to the dining room. And by the time they sat down, she just insulted them the whole way through, and they're thanking her. They're thanking her. And all the staff is laughing because she just ripped them left and right, right? And they say, oh, thank you, you're so nice, right? I used to have another auntie, Elizabeth Konohia. We would go to the Kalavina Church, the Hawaiian Protestant church. We go to the church. and she would give the haipule in Hawaiian. So, and we have all these, poi haole here. These are people that moved to Hana at that time. So this was in the late 70s, early 80s. And she would give the
Sandra,
haipule.
you know they're gonna cut us off here pretty soon. This is
Oh, okay.
a 1 hour show, you know.
Anyway, let me just finish this part then. Auntie would give the haipule, and she said, "Hui kalamaya, Mrs. Iser, no kamea kapone, moi oya me oyala." And so the people would come and thank her after. Basically, she's giving the whole gossip, like, please forgive Mrs. Iser because last night she slept with Mr. King, and Mr. King's wife was over here, and all they hear is in Hawaiian. So they went up to her after and saying, "Thank you for mentioning me in your prayer." This is the genius of the Hawaiian, right? So they would thank her, but all the Hawaiians would, we would hear the whole scoops of what happened during the week. Anyway, I wanted to share that because, we have to understand that when we use the word aloha, it has many meanings. And there's also another side to it that, the aloha away, aloha too bad, aloha, it's not going the way it should be going. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
But, I was going to
Charlie,
use
watch how you say that word from now on, Charlie. You watch out. I heard you say that way when
no.
you're talking to me.
I was going to use a Filipino, I was going to say a Filipino word that it depends on how you say it, but I'm not going to use it right now. So it's good.
I'm going to ask you guys to hang around for a couple minutes more because I did want to touch on. Hi.
Mel, I wanted to ask them. I wanted to ask if you folks can stick around a little bit longer. You too. Okay. I really there's some people asking about. We trying to open up again, right? The whole thing, but we see that, and I don't know. We get tidbits here and there about the debacle with Mar Memorial Hospital. So now that became a really hot spot, and the recent death as a result of the hospital, it has brought a real sense of urgency to address. In your opinions, do you think they're addressing the issue, or is it just like we're just getting by? What's your take on it, Lynn or Senator English?
I think they're trying the best they can to address the issue. When you have clusters that are there and happen the way it is, it's all about now isolating it, and then trace back. And I say this because we do this now with food safety, right? Most of us in our mind as farmers like, all right, the thing all in here. Well, newsflash, it ain't. Because now they got to trace this thing back, and then they got to interview the person. So like myself and Kalani know this all the time. Hey, what just happened over there? Try replay. Because now in their mind, they got to ask who was in contact with that person, so forth and so forth. The precautionary measures they've put in place, and I'm not vouching for the fact that, there's been a lot of complaints. But I think when all is said and done, has the corrective measures been in place? They're doing the best they can, like everybody else. At one point, they didn't have the proper PPEs. There were many different rules that were being told. We weren't always on the same page. And then you had those that were so-called said expertise people that, I'm not going to say one way or the other, but, Lieutenant Governor has been spot on from day one. I would never challenge his expertise in something like this. And yet, him coming on a show like you guys also shows you that he's a real person too. And he can joke around and he can roll with the best of them too. But he takes this shit real seriously. And at the same time, Senator and I have paid that visit on the day that Lieutenant Governor was there, because we found it within our place, ourselves, our senator and our reps, that we wanted to show unity, and that whatever we could do on the government side, we were going to do it, because we had many challenges with Maui Memorial, public privatization. It was a real heated issue. For me, it was a no-brainer, and I've taken a lot of flack for this, but if we didn't have the acute care services on Maui, where would we send the people? Molokai, we are in partnership with Queen's Hospital, But I remember a case that we had here in an accident, husband and wife, critical accident. Maui Memorial couldn't take the both of them, neither could Queens. We literally separated the husband and wife, and the daughter had to choose whose side she was going to be by. Yeah. And I looked at it in that aspect that if Maui Memorial was to lose its acute care services, imagine that population being funneled to Honolulu, Queens West, Straub, Palimomi, Polimi. We could be some of our own family waiting in that hallway. Yeah? This became an internal fight between family with my sister and so forth. But, I think they're trying to do the best they can. They need to get it together. They need to work together. At some point, stop throwing each other under the bus and lay it on the line and put all your cards down and say, this is what we're doing. We want to hear your complaints and your solutions. But, as Senator and I are I'm stuck here on Molokai, he's stuck in Hana. There's things that we can't do without, it's out of our hands. So as an able body, and if we can get on the line and help serve those foods and pass out food, get people doing things that can help them and their families, that's what we gotta be, An able body is a body that can be there to support your community in a time of need. And, we couldn't be at the hospital, but our support and our aloha is behind it. And as government officials, we can only do what we can. It's based on funding. It's based on making sure that people can still walk in there safe. And it's not just if you get COVID-19, that operations, whether you get on strep throat, whether you got to do in surgery, they're still operational, but in your mind, it's still like, hey, is it Garen? What, I get nuts. I had to go to Oahu one day and I put my full white Tyvek suit on with my hat, my hoodie, put my gloves on, and it was like, what the hell is she doing? Is she going to exterminate the whole place? I refuse to even let the chair of the plane touch me, because as many of you that have family, I don't want my granddaughter to be, and I choose not to move. I shouldn't be moving about and being transported to another island, because you guys got to admit, look at what happened. They went open up Vegas. I bet you, and I put money on this, that the majority of the people is already trying to book a flight to go back to Vegas. Call it selfish, call it whatever you like. Take that move and we start back with square one, because it's still a hot spot. Las Vegas, whatever you call it, the ninth island or what, which I still think is not the ninth island of the Hawaiian Islands, but we're still getting suckered into funneling the electric light bill. We should funnel that thing over here.
We have 130, we had 133 islands. We lost one, so now we have 132 islands. One of our northern islands disappeared. So there's about 10 islands in the world that disappeared. And
yeah, but Luigi popping up. I saw it.
So when it pops, then we're going to have 133 islands again. But, just to address Maui Memorial, yeah, what Lynn said is really correct. We had a really hard choice on Maui as legislators that, to transition the hospital from a state facility to the hybrid that it is now was very difficult. And, a lot of internal fighting, but our base concern was that we have to have a medical center of that caliber on Maui, because it's not just Maui Memorial in Kahului. It's also Kula Hospital Upcountry. It's also the Lanai Hospital, right? So it's the system, those three, and they all serve my district, right? They all serve our district. So we had hard choices. We had to say, either we transition and find partners who transition to, or we face, possibly losing medical infrastructure. We support all the employees. We want them to be safe. We want them to have the personal protection equipment. I want them to have more than enough, because they're on the front lines and they're working hard. They're risking their lives for everybody. They're the heroes. And we need partners.
Of course, right? Kalani, we got to say this too, is that, we've both had this conversation with our colleagues, is that we also want their complaints to be heard and addressed. And we've said this to administration. This is not as if, we just support you guys, go on your merry little way. It's like the complaints have come in and we've asked the questions. Hey,
Yeah.
what you guys doing about this? This complaint, every complaint is still a complaint that we look at, we address it, and the response might not be the response everybody gonna like, but it's gonna be the response based on the facts of what can and cannot be done and what is within our means, yeah. But we take it real seriously because there's many people that live on Molokai and Lanai that have moved to Maui. And we want to make sure with that, and even when the visitor industry was alive and well, that everybody was treated the same way and went away from there thinking that they had the best care that they could. Um, we got to look at the isolated islands. What about those that cannot have that care? You talk about pregnancy. Try have your baby with the feet coming out, and then the doctor tell you, hold it right there, I'm gonna bring the helicopter in, and the baby breach. Jesus Christ, 1 hour gonna wait with the feet waiting that way? So you gotta look on the bright side that you guys can do that stuff at that hospital and it's still safe. It's safe, and it's being watched with on real fine tooth comb. And mayor, us, governor, you know, we're going to try to do the best we can as long as we can, along with our colleagues. And, it's not an easy task. Tensions have flared, and, two wrongs don't make a right, but, we got to try and, work together. Yeah. This is trying times. And that's why I got to aloha you guys in Kauai. I aloha Senate prayers, because the funny part, I got to tell you something really funny, was doing this disability job reverse fair. And I was co-hosting this thing with co-emceeing with Augie T, which was really funny. So Senate Press comes down and we're like, hey, I just want to introduce Senate Press. Can you please say a few words? Of course, he always get that face like he mad, right? Always mad. So he comes on and, that guy is a real champion for disabilities. I got to say it. He does this awesome thing, speaks real eloquently of what he's done and his support behind it. As you guys know, Rep Tokyo also, Pono has been also with disability and, sign language, but super smart and kick-ass golfer, is what I'm told. I don't golf, but kick-ass golfer. Heard he busts everybody up. But anyway, so Senate Press then turns on and goes, hey, go Rep Decoite. I said, thank you, Senate Press, for speaking. And we get all the employers, they're waiting to interview these disability applicants. And I said, just so you guys know, all your employers, do not second guess anybody based on first impressions. Because if I had to deal with the look of Senate President's face, I would not have hired that guy right off the bat. And bro, he gave me this look like, oh, your shit is dead. And I was like, but I still love you. I still love you. And I passed the mic on to Augie, and Augie starts to talk. And then we only get one mic, right? So we passing them back to the panel. And then Augie goes, hey, Lynne, the mic not working. I go, just so you guys all know, we took budget cuts right there. We couldn't even afford 2 mics. So me and Augie had to share 1 mic. But those are things that, hey, you just gotta make do with what you gotta make do. Lucky Augie can talk loud, and that auditorium has a way of protruding. But, you guys have an awesome Senate Press and a delegation there that, we work really closely with. And, when all is said and done, everybody's trying to make sure that the community, the state, and, is taken care of. But trying to converse back into where we're going forward is going to be very trying. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Senate President, Senator is not going to lie either. We're looking at shit that is going to be grim. It's not going to be on pretty sight. And as best as we can going forward, it's going to take everybody. There'll be a lot of bashing going around, but hey, sorry, we're only human. And
Yeah, exactly. We're doing the best we can. Like I said, it's all about partnerships. And, with Ron and Jimmy Tokioka and, Derek, your mayor, because we all know each other well. We work really well together. When we need help, these are the guys we rely on. And then when they need help, they rely on us, right? So we have a very good working relationship. And it's just at the end of the day, right? Because all the Neighbor Islanders we're kind of stuck here in Honolulu. And everybody goes home and we're like, okay, what are we going to do? So we end up hanging together and being together. And getting to know each other and becoming really good friends. So that's how a lot of stuff moves for the neighbor islands. We're a small, collectively, the neighbor islands are a small delegation, but we wield a lot of influence at the legislature because, you know, we hang together and we move together, right? We combine our votes together, and that's how we get stuff for Kauai, for Niihau, for Molokai, Lanai, Kaho'olawe, Maui, even Big Island. I mean, Oahu gets majority of it, but I'll tell you a funny story, just a quick one. On Molokai, when very years ago, God, I've been in the Senate 20 years now. So in the early years, my early 2000s, we had to pave Kamehameha V Highway, which is from Halawa Valley into Kaunakakai. And it was, 30 years and they haven't fixed the thing. It was hard time getting funding. So I finally started telling the Honolulu guys, I need to pave Kamehameha Highway. Sure. Got the money in. And then after it was like, what were you talking about? Oh, it's Kamehameha V Highway on Molokai, right? So we got the funding, we got it paved, it was done. But part of it was just saying, because the Honolulu guys thought it was Kamehameha Highway, right, on Oahu. So it kind of got through, and all the neighbor island guys kind of just said, oh yes, Kamehameha V Highway on Molokai. So anyway.
Not to disregard our Honolulu colleagues, but our job is to express and to show the need, yeah. And as we have those conversations is, hey, how's Kauai doing? How's Big Island doing? So, we've blanketed it where Honolulu also has some of those same issues. It's not as if we've thrown, and disregarded our colleagues, because we have really good friendships in Honolulu with our colleagues. And, it has to be balanced. At the same time, if you look at population per capita, and Kalani, you can weigh in on any time. You know this better than anybody else. Molokai has stolen in Lanai a lot of money, literally per capita. And, people say, we're still part of the state. Yes, we are. But if you look at how the makeup of we are and our requests, basically, the partnership that Senator and I have, he's done a lot. He's done a lot for our districts. It's not easy to stand there and try to claim that this is what we need, whether it be us, Kauai, Big Island. But it does take standing up and saying, this is why the need is so high, because education is still a state responsibility, because the healthcare is still that, yeah. But I just wanted to throw that out, that we did not disregard our Honolulu colleagues.
Yeah, that's true. We work very well with the Honolulu guys too.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Well, I think the general consensus anyway, and this is my own opinion for Kauai, is that a lot of the activity at the legislature is Honolulu centric. I mean, it is. They got the population, they got the majority in the legislature. It is what it is. So whatever we can get, we appreciate. I mean, that's the reality of it, though.
So, but like what Lynn said is, really, really rings true. Per capita, our districts bring home, Ron brings home the bacon. Jimmy brings home the bacon. Lynn and I, we bring home the bacon. I mean, people have told us, like, how did you guys do that? Because, I was just talking to, somebody in Hana. They were asking, I put, $28 million for the harbor, another $20 million for the airport in Hana. And, these projects didn't go. People here fought it and didn't want it. That was fine. Took the first, we did the harbors twice. The first time they fought it, I funded it. The second time, funded it, and I said, okay, I learned we're not going to touch this project ever again, right? We moved the money to Lanai. Manele Harbor on Lanai. That money was originally for Hana, and Hana fought it. We said, fine, move it to Lanai. Lanai got a beautiful harbor, what they wanted, and my district was taken care of, so I'm okay with that. The thing is that we got to move with, what the places want, what the people want. And, the infrastructure is needed, but they don't want it. So, we don't have the harbor fixed. We don't have the airport that meets some standards, but it's what people wanted here. So I respect that. and we just move the funding to the other part of the district, you know, and help out the guys there that need it. Same thing on Kauai. Yeah, you guys have stuff where people fight, and then, you know, around them have to say, okay, let's move it over here. Move it from west side to east side, or move it from, right? The main thing is that the resources stay on you guys' islands.
We like to hang on to what we can, you know, and stuff. You know, we appreciate you guys hanging on 20 minutes late. I did want to, I don't even know if we can do this within the next 5 or 10 minutes, but is the unemployment issue. A lot of people, I know there's been some developments. We've, you know, we hear it over here, and apparently the hardware has been upgraded, but any insight or any updates over and above what we see in the news? I watched the Senate hearing with the DLIR guy, and you know, they were bombarding him with questions, and he was trying to answer, but there was no real clear answer. It was a lot of, you know, we plan to, we hope to. Where are we at? And if it's too much of a question, we can bring you guys back at a later time. But where are we at right now as far as getting our people paid?
Well, Kalani, I'll start real quick. So I spoke to one of the state guys. The wife was laid off. He works for the governor. The wife was laid off. I said, hey, how you guys addressing this? Because we've had this conversation many a times. You know, just our phones are inundated. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid. So the breakdown was like this. They've made adjustments to it. If anybody that is filing new today, this is the latest. If you're filing new, you can literally get through this system and get paid in 2 weeks. Okay. But you got to remember how you answer those questions. So earlier, Senator and I had a conversation in regards to what's happening in Lanai. Changes were then made and updated, which we wouldn't know because we didn't have the opportunity to look at how the form is made, because you got to go online and do the thing. They did it, the person filed it, received an unemployment check within 2 weeks and the stimulus, which is a record time. But it was because when they put it in, one, there was no duplication filings. Two, there was no error. And I mean error as in Social Security wrong, you know, date of separation wrong, routing account numbers. You know, those will throw you in on whole different, like you're not even on the playing field anymore. That's no excuse. And then the limited lack of people. Changes that were made was just made updated to its site. So you're talking about those who still waiting in the queue, because as of today, you're only looking at what, 80 or 60, was it 60 something thousand, right, Kalani? About 64, 65,000 that have actually been processed. There's many discrepancies, yeah, on there. And then you take a look at us in Lanai. We no more even nobody to have access to the computer on Molokai to move you to the next claim level, which is in our part. We actually reached out to one of the ladies that could have been a fixture on Molokai, on Beverly Paole Moa, who Kalani's like, Lynn, what the hell are you guys doing on Molokai? I said, oh, I'm going to bring her out of the woodwork, which she loves this stuff. And she literally, I said, Auntie, I need you to help Hannah. But those changes have been made. And I tell you, if you follow the thing the way it should, when you're going online, you can zap right through that whole process. It's just that the one sitting there is all jammed up.
So one of the keys to remember is it's an old mainframe computer, right? It's from the 80s. And so, like, you know, the governor waived the requirement that you look for 3 jobs a week, and also waived the requirement that you put your resume online. But the computer hasn't changed. So when you go in and fill out your form, when they say, have you looked for 3, you got to check yes, even though you didn't.
You got to lie to the computer.
Yeah. And, you know, and most people don't know that. If you say no, like, because you didn't go look, right? So your instincts, to be honest, you say no, but then some person has to review that, right? So you check yes. You say you did because it's waived, and then it goes through the system. But, you know, we can have a longer discussion on this at another time, because, you know, I think Lynn and I would enjoy to come back. I do want to say one thing before we close. You know, my schoolmate, Kamehameha class of 1984, Pamai Kano is up there, and we were talking last night. So, you know, Pamai, do you, I told her you can see me in my Aloha shirt, but She said, "Oh, what? You gonna be in your BBDs?" I said, "No, maybe I'm not gonna be wearing anything."
Oh,
So did you?
TMI, TMI.
That's why I know. That's why I don't stand up. I cannot stand up. I gotta sit down the whole time. And when I stand up, because I'm not wearing my, I gotta change up. My wife
So
said,
for Mike,
"He wearing
I guess what if I'm wearing anything or not. Okay.
Yeah, no, we've been trying to get somebody from unemployment insurance office because, that information that you just mentioned about the have you looked for a job or whatever, and most people don't know that, that's causing a lot of problems. I know that people have signed up weeks ago, 5 6 weeks ago, or 5 weeks ago, and still zero, nada. And then you cannot get through on a phone. You cannot. It's just very, very frustrating, I think, for so many people. But maybe you guys can help me get one unemployment person on the
Well,
buddy over there.
Did he give a new hotline there, Kalani? The 8833 number. There's a.
Check call them right now. Check call them right now, Rep. Check call them right now.
It should be still be open.
I gotta tell you, it's they got the new hotline, and the problem with the hotline is, as he said on the phone, was on the TV, there's a queue of 100. That's it. So if you're 101, burp, 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 and then you gotta try again. Now guess what? There's 100. So
Yeah.
that to me I thought was kind of archaic. With today's phone technology, I'm not talking about the mainframe. I'm talking about the telephone technology. We brought in 700, I hear, 700 volunteers, or not volunteers, but people. So I think those things.
Volunteers.
Yeah, volunteers. Yeah, I think, it's very hard for the poor person that has not received a check, never got their stimulus, never got their $600 a week deal, and all of this stuff. And in the meantime, yeah, some of the mortgages and the car loans, those things may have been deferred, but the regular bills still come. So anyway.
Lucky, we recognize it. In Hana, I have so many people unemployed, 5 weeks without any money. That's why we're trying to get food. The young families, they cannot make the payments. And so we're trying to get food to them. We're trying to help them out. Beverly Paoli Moore has been godsend for us in Hana because, Auntie is calling everybody. We gave her the list. She's talking to them about how to fill out the form. She says, "Oh, wait, your mortgage. Okay, let's call your bank. I'll go help you call your bank. We will get the deferment. Okay, your car payment. Let's call your credit union." Okay, because she knows her stuff. She might be your guest to come on. She worked 31 years in the system, right?
Bingo.
And she knows this stuff really, really well. So even though she's retired, Auntie knows her stuff, and she can tell you how to do this. So, I think she would be a good one to come on at some point.
What's going on, Rep? What's going on, Rep Decoite?
We are now closed. Thank you for calling the unemployment
That's right.
office.
That's right. Get this. They close at 4 o'clock.
This sucks.
So you understand, in California, they hired 600 people, and they extended their hours. And that's where I think I understand money and cost, but tell that to the person that cannot pay their bill.
The Senate sent, we have 36 employees that volunteered, to go down and help, and it's a training process. And I just want to say this, that, Ron and us, the leadership in the Senate, what we decided early on was, okay, what do they need? And we're going to back them up and help them to get through this. We're not going to fight over, you did this, you didn't do this. We just say, okay, let's get everybody processed. We'll deal with that stuff later, but let's send our people down. Let's process those claims. Let's get people paid and their money's going. Later we fight over, what happened, so we send volunteers down.
Well, we have had Senator Mercado Kim, Senator Favela, Senator De La Cruz, and I got to tell you, and I've said this, I don't know, almost in every show, that the Senate, the legislative body is doing their job. I got to tell you that, and the people know this because we bring them on, and you folks are basically validating that you guys are doing your job. People got to understand there's the administrative branch and the legislative branch, but I challenge people, go watch the Senate committee hearing, go watch the House hearings on TV. It's live. You can watch them on your phone. And
It replaced
they're
contact
asking,
sport.
huh?
It's replaced contact sports.
I know. I tell you, it's. But anyway, we are at the 8:30 mark, so we're gonna wind down. I just want to thank you guys again.
Thank you.
We'll do it
Mahalo.
again. We'll definitely do it again. Um, what time is it in Maui now? Is it 8:30?
We're about 3 minutes ahead of you.
Okay.
We just 2 minutes ahead of you guys, you know, we stay back, I stay on the equator.
Representative Decoite, you know how we close this thing, right?
Oh,
Oh, maybe not. Maybe she came on too early.
I-
Yeah, we do this every night, and the numbers, our viewership just comes up at about. It's too late now. They usually come up about 5 to 8. They come on because they want to watch our closing. You get Charlie, world-renowned entertainer, me aspiring entertainer, but
Aloha.
no, what we did. what we do is we started this show a long time ago to remind people we wanted to flatten the curve. We wanted to tell people to follow the damn rules. Stay at home, wash your hands, don't touch your face, stay 6 feet away from people. Just follow the damn rules so we can get this. Of course, they don't listen. We used to call them COVIDiots, now we call them doodle heads, doodle boys, doodle boys. So then we came up with this idea that me and Charlie was going to be deputized as COVID agents, and we go out and arrest these people, and they would be forced to stay with us for 24 hours. Hey, that didn't work. So we came up with this idea, and basically, if these guys cannot flatten the curve, then we will flatten their ears. Ready, Charlie? Take us here, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Representative. We love you guys. God bless. Tomorrow night, we got attorney, employment law attorney, Randy Harakal. He's going to be talking to us about the impacts of this thing on your job or for employers as well. So 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Be here. We'll be here. Thank you guys so much. Aloha. God bless, guys. Love y'all.
Aloha.
Everybody, love you.